So welcome everybody and happy Guru Purnima. It's one of those holidays that of course because it's the Indian calendar that it technically in India I think it was yesterday, but today it's considered here. It's one of those weird things because it's a full moon thing. But Guru Purnima is the celebration of the Guru, and it's the celebration of not a specific Guru, so it's not just your personal whoever it is that you like to put in that role, but it's the energy of the celebration of the energy that moves us from darkness to light, because that's what a guru is. So what I've been practicing for myself, or what's coming into my mind lately, is that the guru is not always an easy energy or a comfortable one, but it's one that inspires trust. Because if you are willing to give yourself to the guru, and that's what it said that that's what you do, is you give your whole trust of your practice, the whole trust of yourself into that person or into that being that you consider your guru, and you know that they're going to be what guides you to find the path that turns what feels like darkness for you into something lighter. And so literally that's a destruction of the self as we know it. It's a destruction of the world as we know it, so that it can be rebuilt into something else, right? So we think of the guru, it's not just that bright individual that we hope or we aspire to be one day. It's the feeling of trust that matters, right? It's the feeling of heartfelt willingness to give over control of ourselves into an energy that's bigger. To say, maybe I don't know what it means to turn my darkness into light, but if I let it happen, right? I let an energy guide me, or I let myself be inspired or drawn to another way of being, is that what is dark for me, or what feels like it's dark, can become something else, right? That's the energy of the guru. And it's said that every one of us has that guru energy inside. You don't need anyone outside in order to have that happen. It's in you already. So tapping into the inner guru is a big part of this celebration that I think we forget. We look for the outside gurus to celebrate, but can you go to the inside guru? Right? The energy that's in you that says, I already know how to translate my life from something that feels like it's dark to light. And it might not be that I know every step, but I know that it's possible. And I'm stepping into that willingness that whatever is dark, I'm not going to let it bind me anymore. I'm going to let it show me how to recreate my world, how to recreate myself, right? So comfortable seat if you're not already there. But that's the celebration. Is to know that there is this link of energy that is inherent in you. So if the eyes close, find yourself breathing a little deeper. And bringing that breath to the space of the third eye, because this is right around Ajna chakra, the third eye chakra is the Guru chakra. It's the place where the guru that lives in you is always present. It's like that light that's on in the background. So if you're looking at your thoughts, you're going to see a lot of that kind of hazy reflection. But if you get a little quieter, then you notice that light is on. You notice that it's there. And then drop the breath down to the heart center. And the heart center is the place that is the foundation or the living area of your own soul, your Jiva Atman. And if that energy is not alive and apparent to you, if you can't hear the voice of your own heart, then that guru voice is going to get a little lost. Because trust is something that exists here. Breathe into the heart space. And then drop your breath down lower into the base of your pelvis, down all the way into the core, tailbone. The energy of the root is not just the place that we begin or that we have a sense of belonging in the world. It's the way that you make things real. The root energy is the knowledge of whatever it is that I know on the highest levels, that this is how it becomes real in the world. And that the realness of it might seem like it changes the perfection of what I know in my third eye or what I feel in my heart. It might seem like it changes, but it doesn't. You have to know your root, know the way that you can live that truth, live the knowledge of the Guru self. Live it in the world as it is. And if it means that you have to recreate yourself over and over again, that's the power of the Guru, is that you are not bound to yourself the way that you think that you were born. And the root is where we have the ability to let go of that identity. Come back to the identity of the heart, the Jiva Atman. Bring the breath back up to the heart. And the Jiva Atman has the connection to the soul, the connection to all of the souls that have come before you, the Gurus. So bring your breath back up to the third eye. And there's no hierarchy or category that somehow the Guru chakra in you is less than a Guru that has lived in the world. Universal truth is that's you, Sat Nam. Truth is my name. It lives through me. And then let go of the direction of the breath. Wherever your attention settles, it settles. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands, please. And then bring yourself forward onto hands and knees. Good. And start to circle the pelvis, please. So on hands and knees, do nice big hip circles. Good. Let your shoulders be part of that too. So you're not just moving the pelvis, but you are moving the whole body. Nice. Every teacher that has ever been called a guru is you can look at their personalities and say that they're so different from each other. Move your hips the other way, please. And those personalities, again, fit with certain parts of the world or certain people that need that element, that personal element to move them from where they are. The Guru will show up for you in whatever way is necessary for you to be able to see yourself. Whatever is necessary for that truth inside of you to become clear, is that's what shows up in your life. Good. Come back to neutral, please. Do a little cat and cow, lifting the chest forward, bringing the tail up and back on the inhale, and then exhaling, curling and rounding. Good. So what makes a guru is not their personality. What makes a guru is that they have the ability to inspire us to shift from the way that we were to a different way. And sometimes those gurus are there for only a minute in your life. And sometimes they're there and you can't get rid of them no matter how much you try. Guru Purnima, can you celebrate all of the gurus in your life, but especially the energy of trust in you that allows you to give yourself over to truth, to give yourself over to a desire to continue to grow, to experience more, even if that means you tear down your world over and over again. Good. Come back to neutral, please. Stretch your right arm out wide to the right. Slide that arm underneath the left armpit. Right shoulder finds the floor. Turn your gaze, take the left arm forward. Good. Press your shins down in this position, you guys. So if your ankles are curling up, your weight is moving towards the tips of your knees, I want you to redistribute your weight back through your shins. So push down through the tops of your feet, push back through your hips just a little bit, get your shins rooted to the floor. Good. And then use that left arm, so fingertips on the floor, use that arm to lift your armpit open a little more and reach a little longer through that right side body. Don't let your shins pop up. Good. One more breath, breathe into the back of the heart. Nice. And then release, come back up to center. And go the other way. Take the left arm out and wide, slide behind your right wrist, left shoulder finds the floor. Turn the gaze, walk the right arm forward towards straight. Good, and again, root your shins to the floor. So feel that pushing down into the feet, and notice that by pushing down into the shins, you might feel that something starts to happen up the outer edge of your legs into your hips. That's what you want, a little bit of stability through the pelvis. Good, because then you can draw your rib cage in, you can push into that right fingertips a little bit more, so you can open your right rib cage wider, higher, and then reach through the left arm a little bit longer, but pull your right hip crease back in space and root your shins. Good. Nice, you guys. The guru is also sometimes described as the heaviness, something that keeps drawing you back to it over and over and over again. Push into your shins. The heaviness gives you the ability to be freer everywhere else if you're steady, if you're stable. Good. Bring yourself back up to hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide, tuck the toes, lift the hips, come into downward facing dog. Good. Pedal the feet a little bit, move your hips from side to side. Good, and then come to stillness, please. Take your right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Good. Come up high on the ball of your left foot, so pull in, squeeze your belly in and up, push your hips back in space, but pull your ribs forward. That's it. Nice, you guys. And then release that left heel down towards the floor, keep the right leg lifted. And now bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the right hip on top of the left. And then really pull long through that knee. So you're getting your thigh as long as you can in line with your hip. Good, squeeze your heel in. Yeah, nice, you guys. Deep breath, let that left heel soften towards the floor and keep drawing your ribs in and up. Good, and then spin that right knee facing down to the floor, step the right foot between the hands, lunge. Good, back heel comes to 45 degrees, warrior one, take the arms up to the sky. Good, squeeze your feet towards each other. So straighten your front leg for a second. Yeah, take both legs to straight. And then squeeze your feet towards each other. Lift your hip points up. So pull your front of your pelvic points up off of your front thigh. And then send your right hip forward a lot. So square the hips as much as you can. If you need to move the feet, that's going to tell you when and how you need to move the feet. You can always step the back foot wider. Pull your back thigh up and back. So engage the back leg first. Get that ankle away, so pulling up through the inner ankle. Good, and then keep that feeling of pulling the back thigh back. Start to bend your front knee, come back into warrior one, but keep pulling through the back thigh. So it's like you're separating the legs away from each other instead of just falling forward into the lunge. Good, keep that outer left hip spinning forward. Nice, you guys. Take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers. Good, at the low back, squeeze your elbows towards each other, upper arms towards each other, and then bow forward just to parallel to the floor. So as you bring your chest forward, only come as far forward as your hips are. Scoop your belly, send that right knee forward over the ankle again, because as soon as you took your chest forward, you started coming out of the lunge. Use that back thigh, pull back. Good. Pull through the crown of your head, squeeze your feet together. Nice. Deep breath in. Now exhale. At the end of that exhale, bring the head all the way down as low as it's going to come. Good. Keep scooping into your belly. Send your right knee deeper into the lunge. Yeah. How do you get your head to the floor? You got to bring your hips closer to the floor. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job, you guys. Spin your back heel up. Both hands come inside the front foot, please. Good. Walk to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Yeah. Nice. And then just extend as long as you can. So pull the chest forward, squeeze your hips back. Good. Long, long spine. And then deep breath in, exhale, lion's breath, tongue out. Good. Again, inhale, exhale, lion's breath. One more time, inhale, exhale, lion's breath. Beautiful. Walk yourself back in, please. Nice job. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Pedal your feet, move your hips from side to side. Good. And then find your steadiness again, please. Left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Good. Come up high on the ball of your right foot, so squeeze up and in. Watch as you come up that you're not rolling your weight towards the baby toe edge of your foot. Pull towards the midline, towards the big toe mound of your right foot. Pull the weight in. Good. And then scoop the ribs in, please. That's it. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Nice. Now keep that feeling of openness. Let the right heel drop back down towards the floor. Good. Bend your left knee that's still in the air. Kick the heel and stack the left hip on top of the right. Don't drop your weight into your hands. Keep that feeling of pulling back through the inner thighs, pulling back through the pelvis. Good. Move that left knee a little higher, a little bit further back so that you have that long line from your knee all the way through your left fingertips. Good. Squeeze the heel in towards your butt. Good. Nice, you guys. And then point the knee at the floor, please. Step the left foot between the hands, lunge. Back heel comes to 45 degrees, so turn the toes out. Step the foot wider to the right if you need, and then inhale the arms up to warrior one. And just go ahead and straighten the front leg. So again, you're finding your warrior one by getting into the back thigh first. So bring your weight more towards the back foot, spread through those 5 toes of the back foot so that you can feel inner and outer edge of the foot. Good. And then send your outer right hip spinning forward, which means that the inner thigh is going to pull up and back. Pull back on your right thigh. That's it. And then lift those hip points up as much as you can. Good. Now maintain that position of your pelvis as much as you can. Bend the left knee again, come back into warrior one, but keep pulling back through that right thigh and spinning your right hip forward. So you're spiraling the back leg. Good. And then watch that you can feel the big toe mound, baby toe mound of the front foot as well. Don't let that back ankle collapse. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Send your back thigh higher. Good. Lift your hip points. Nice. Take your hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Good. And then bow forward halfway. So just bringing the torso parallel to the floor or almost like you're going to rest it on your thigh. Squeeze that left butt cheek in when you do that because it's going to pop out. So pull it in. Good. Yeah. Extend, extend. Work through that back thigh. Keep pulling the hips back. Scoop your belly. Send your left knee forward more because you've scooped your belly. And squeeze your feet towards each other. Good. Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, drop the head towards the floor any amount. Remembering if you want your head to come to the floor now or ever, you have to get into that, how can I get my hips lower? Good. You got to scoop your belly and you got to go deep into that lunge. Good. Release the hands to the floor. Nicely done. Spin your back heel up, both hands inside the front foot. Walk to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. I know it's a lot on your legs. I know it's a lot. But if it feels like it's too much, it means that you are gripping in your legs instead of letting yourself drop into the pose. So don't grip in your legs. You want to find that engagement, but not get hard around it. Good. Lift your chest a little higher. Heads are dropping. There you go. Deep breath in. Lion's breath out. Wherever there is excess tension in you, you put it out in the breath. Deep breath in. Exhale, lion's breath out. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale, lion's breath. Nice. And then walk yourself back in, please. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Deep breath in. And then drop the knees to the floor, please. Child's pose. Good. Hips come back to your heels. Yeah. Breathe through the length of your spine. Good, you guys. Finding the guru is usually not an easy thing. And finding the part in you that is trusting and willing to give up on what you think you know about yourself is not an easy thing. But if the trust is real, the love is real, then anyone and anything can be your guru. But you have to have that feeling of trust. You have to have the desire to move from where you are to something else. Walk your torso towards the right, please, over the right thigh. Good. Nice, you guys. Bring yourself back to center, go to the left. The guru is the one that helps you destroy the world and build it back up again into something else. Or rather, they help you to destroy your attachments to the world being one way so that you can see the world for what it is. Because that's really the way that those deeper truths work. Because it's not that you have to get rid of everything that you used to have, used to know. The attachments that make it seem like it's something other than what it is. Come back to center. I like it this way. I don't like it that way. I don't want truth to be like this. Therefore, I'm going to ignore it. I can't stop being the way that I was born. Well, maybe you can. Walk yourself back up, please. Downward facing dog. Good. Bring the right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Yeah. Come up high on the ball of the left foot again. So squeeze in and up, pull your ribs in, pull your hips higher, pull back, pull back, pull back. Good, and then keep that pulling in, bring your armpits forward over your wrist, come into a one-legged plank. So that right leg's gonna drop in line with your hips. It's gonna come lower, but your right foot's gonna hover off the floor in plank pose. Good, chest forward, chest forward, chest forward. Right, up and back, down dog split, please. Good job. And then very softly, of course I can't hear you because you're all muted, but step that right foot between the hands, no sound. Good, perfect, I didn't hear a thing. Drop your back heel flat, baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Cartwheel the arms up to warrior two. Yeah, bring your hands back down to the floor. I feel like I have to do this with warrior two a lot, right? Warrior two is a pose that is establishing focus, and we get into it in such a haphazard way, right? Set your feet like you intend for that to be the foundation for your life. You set your feet. And then cartwheel your arms up, one fluid motion. Find where there is the stacking of your spine. As the arms open, that's an extension of the heart center, right? And where your gaze is looking, that's a direction, that's a focus for the mind. This is standing meditation, right? Every pose is meant to be an opportunity for meditation, but this one especially is one where you are lining yourself up. So if you come into that distracted, if you come into that haphazard, fidgeting, what does that create for your life, right? This is the energy of the guru. It says you got to focus. You got to pay attention. Good. Drop that left hand down the back thigh. Right hand comes up and back. Reverse warrior. Beautiful. Deep breath in. Squeeze the feet towards each other so that the thigh can go deeper without gripping. Good. And then bring yourself back up, please. Warrior two. Nice. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good. Both hands inside the front foot. Walk to your left until you come to the center of your mat. Straighten both legs. Turn the toes. Prasarita Padottanasana. Good. And then bend both knees, please. So knees stay in line with the ankles. Bend your knees. Take your thighs back. Take your butt back. And then walk your fingertips forward so that you have that long extension on your spine. Good. Push your inner knees wider. Good. But press into the big toe mounds of your feet. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Hold the knees wide. Scoop your low belly. Drop your butt lower. Good. Nice, you guys. The more you can drop your butt here, you get more into the opening of your lower back. So you want to change that angle of your pelvis. Beautiful. One more breath. Nice job. Walk your hands back in, please. Take your hips high to the sky. Pull those calf muscles in and up to the bone as you bring your hips up and bow deeply. Good. Nice, you guys. Right hand plants, left arm comes to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Keep pulling the right inner thigh and hip wider as you do that because it has a tendency to fall in as you're twisting to the left. Good. And then release and switch. Take the left hand down to the floor. Take the right arm up. And now pull the left thigh wider. Pull the left hip higher. Good. Nice. And then release the hand back down to the floor. Fingertips underneath your shoulders or blocks if you can't comfortably reach the floor. Come up on your tippy toes, please. Good. So lift your heels up off the floor. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Scoop your belly. Push your butt higher. Good, Lauren. Good, Harriet. Nice. Good, good, good. And then palm squat if you can. Start to drop your weight into your hands. Good. Almost like you're going to do a press-up handstand here. Scoop your belly, push your butt high to the sky, let your weight come onto your hands, look at the tips of your fingers. Again, every position, where is your focus? Good. Hug your arms towards each other, squeeze the shoulder blades up and in, heart wide. Rely on your hands, trust your hands to hold you, trust your belly, trust your core to hold you. Good. Release the feet back down to the floor. Good. Hold opposite elbows for a moment, sway from side to side. Nice. You have never considered the possibility that you will do a handstand free in the middle of the room one day. Consider it. Might be today. Release the hands down to the floor. Good. Walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Right toes turn forward. Yep. Walk the fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Left thigh comes parallel to the floor. Good. Make sure your hands are touching something, either floor or blocks. And then come up on the tippy toes of your right foot. Squeeze in and up. Let your weight drop more into your hands. Good. You have to pull up through that low space of your pelvis. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Squeeze your feet towards each other. Let your weight drop into your hands. Hug your upper arms towards each other, almost like you're going to get ready to do a push-up. And then pull those shoulder blades onto your back, up towards your hips. And extend your heart forward and down. Good. Wide chest. Arms plug in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice. Lean a little bit more into your hands, almost like you really don't need that foot to hold you. Nice. And then release the right heel back down to the floor. Bow deeply into that leg. Nice. Step all the way back. Nice long lunge. Downward facing dog. Nice job. Deep breath in. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push-up. Lower down slow. Come to the belly. Good. Rise up cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Point the toes back behind you. Good. Chest high, chest high. And feel those hands dragging back. Good. And your shoulder blades drawing down towards your hips as you pull your collarbones up, up, up. Love the lion's breath that some of you are at it. Good. And then release, downward facing dog. Nice. Left leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Good. Again, come up high on the ball of that right foot, squeeze in and up. Make sure your weight is moving towards the big toe mound of that foot. Good, good, good. Beautiful. And then release the heel towards the floor, please. Slide your armpits forward towards plank. Keep that left leg lifted. Good. Let it drop in line with your hip, but the toes stay off of the floor. Pull your chest forward. Squeeze your arms back and hug in. So again, you're working that feeling of I'm lifting my chest, collarbones up, and I'm not dropping my belly. Forward a little more, Heidi. That's it. And then take it up and back, down dog split. Really good hold, you guys, everybody. Nice job. Step that left foot between the hands. No sound. Good. Drop that back heel. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Good. Cartwheel the arms up with intention. Set up your warrior two. Good. And it doesn't mean that you can't adjust anything, but it means don't throw yourself into the position and then keep having to adjust, 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 adjust. Where am I? Good. Inner knee pulls a little wider towards the baby toe. Nice. Back thigh spins up and back, so you're still rolling that back hip forward just a little bit so that the back thigh can really spiral towards the sky. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Good. Right hand drops down the back thigh, left arm reaches up and back, reverse warrior. Again, scooping your belly, letting your thigh go deeper into the lunge, but squeeze your feet together so it's not the quad doing all the work. Pull that back thigh away. Push your back shin up into your hand. Good. And then bring yourself back up to center. Nice job. Good. Take the hands back down to the floor, please. Nice. Both hands inside the front foot. Walk to your right. Come back to the center of your mat. Good. Again, bend the knees. Drop your hips back or drop your butt back. Knees in line with your ankles. Walk your fingertips forward again. Long spine. Yep. Out on fingertips. Cat-cow your spine with your knees bent and your hips dropping. Good. How much do you trust yourself to change something that has plagued you your whole life? How much do you trust yourself to be able to change something dark into something light? Because if you don't believe that that lives in you, then there's nothing that can awaken. There's nothing that you can't draw on that power if you don't believe it exists. So the outer guru is there to inspire you and to help you to see that that lives in you already. You're not any different than whatever you see in them. You just haven't figured out how it fits with your personality. Good. Start to come to stillness. Walk yourself back in. Take the legs back to straight. Reach right ankle, right hand to right ankle, left hand to left ankle. So same hand, same foot, just one hand to both legs. Deep breath in, lengthen your spine. Good. Push wide with your inner thighs. Squeeze the shins in. Exhale. Bend your elbows. Drag yourself deeper into that forward fold. So elbows go wide as you scoop your belly and push your butt to the sky. Good. Yeah. Widen your chest while you're pulling those shoulders in. Good, Crystal. Really good. Nice. And then release the hands. Good job, you guys. Walk back towards the top of your mat. Left toes spin forward. Good. And then walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Make sure your hands are able to touch something, the floor or blocks. And then come up on the tippy toes of your left foot. Good. Pull in and up through that low belly space. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Good. And let your weight fall into your hands. Maybe even let your elbows bend a little bit. Imagine that you can support yourself with bent elbows. Squeeze in like you're doing a little push-up. Good. Hug those shoulder blades. Pull them up towards your hips. And then push into your hands like you're going to straighten your arms, but keep widening your collarbones. Good. Like you're really going to come into that handstand. Let your weight fall into your hands. Lift your butt higher. Maybe even some of you take a little kick up. Why not? I know you're all looking at where the furniture is. Good, Heidi. Nice, Alice. Yes. Good. And then bring it back down. Really good, Tatiana. Awesome. Step back, nice long lunge. Good job, you guys. Downward facing dog. You know my rule. If one of us did it, we all did it. So awesome handstand kick-ups. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push-up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Good. Rise up, cobra, lifting head, neck, and chest. Again, finding that feeling that you are working the shoulder girdle here. It's not just about can I lengthen my spine, but can I actually use my upper body, push into my hands, drag back, widen my collarbones, and draw those shoulder blades down so that I'm pushing into the stableness to lift myself higher, wider. Lovely, Mia. Nice, Mia. And then release, please. Press back, child's pose. So come back up to hands and knees. Hips back to your heels. I've been working through my mind how to teach handstand, even though not everyone has space in their house to kick up to a wall or do it the way you were used to doing it in the studio. So I'm working on those ideas and things that help us have the same experience of how to work through handstand, even though we don't have the usual way that makes us comfortable. And that's the energy that we celebrate with the Guru Chakra, is where is your willingness to keep working around, not getting stuck with what you think you don't have, but being able to use what's inside of you to still create more, to still experience more. You're not limited by whatever you thought something should be or you wish it could be. You destroy your attachments to the way things were, and you get to become the way that you are. But walk yourself back up, please. Downward facing dog. Good. Take the right leg up and back, down dog splits. Yeah. And then bring that knee forward and wide for pigeons. The knee goes towards the right wrist. Good. Set your pelvis again. So the left hip spins forward, your back hip. And just for a second, come forward onto your elbows. Pause there. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee back up off the floor, so that you really have this feeling that you are extending the leg from your spine and that you are pulling that outer left hip forward as your right hip goes back and wide. Good. Once you've established that, drop the knee back down to the floor. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked, your choice. And then go ahead and drop yourself deeper into your resting pigeon if you like, or stay where you are. Good. It said when we are on our spiritual journey or our path that, we're looking for the way we interpret that expression, going from darkness to light, as we think about the work that's involved. I have to change this, I have to change that, I've got to get rid of that thought, I have to be able to do this, I have to be able to do that. And I'm not good at any of it. Creates more sense of attachment. I'm stuck with the way that I am. I'm stuck with the way that I was. The world's not changing to make this easy for me. There's no way for me to go forward. My darkness. The Guru is just that inspiration that says, behind all of that, within all of that, is there a deep love and a deep trust for your life? Is there a deep love and a deep trust for what you are? Because if you have that, then all of those other circumstances cease to be dark. And not because they're any different than they were. You just stop seeing a difference between what you consider dark and what you consider light. Nothing really changes except your ability to perceive it, the way you interpret yourself within it. That's that Guru energy that's in you. It doesn't have to be another person that tells you how that is you're able to be in the world that way. But I wouldn't say that it's easy. But instead of doing the constant work, you start to tap into where you've lost trust in yourself. Maybe where there never was trust in yourself. And you re-experience or reignite a deep love for your life. Good. One more deep breath where you are. Good. And then walk your hands back up, please. Nice. You're going to tuck the back toes. Those of you who are doing pigeon on your back, just stay for a second. I'm going to tell you what I want you to do in a second. So if you're in pigeon the traditional way, lift that back knee up, please. And then as you lift your hips up, you're going to shoot that right foot out wide to the left. So you're going to bring it all the way out straight underneath you. Push it out. Good. And then keep pushing it out until your outer right hip finds the floor. Good. Back toes stay tucked under. Turn your ribs forward. Walk yourself back onto your forearms. Good. If you are on your back, you're going to do a straight-legged twist. So you can draw that right knee in towards your chest and take it across your body, straighten the left leg out on the floor. Bring the knee across your body into spinal twist and straighten the leg. Good. So yeah, so Tatiana, you've got to lift that right knee off the floor. Yep, and then push that, straighten that leg all the way out to the left. So your right hip is going to be on the floor with the leg straight. There you go. And then your left toes are tucked under. Yep, ribs forward. Yeah, so that back foot, you guys, is still tucked under. So that hip is still rotating forward. You got it. Nice. This is what the guru provides. The guru is that repository of loving energy that when we don't know how to find it in ourselves, we go seeking it in someone else who seems to be better at it. And we think we need them, that we don't know how to love ourselves without them to constantly reassure us that we're worth loving, right? That's what the guru relationship sometimes is. If you can find that deep love and that deep trust in you, and you can see everyone and everything as a guru, because everyone and everything can inspire you to keep living in that. One more breath. Good. Walk yourself back up onto your hands if you're there. Come all the way back, downward facing dog. So lift that back knee, pull the right knee back in towards your chest and take it up and back behind you. Good. And then release that foot down to the floor. If you're on your back, stay on your back. We're just going to come into pigeon on the other side. Left leg comes up and back down, dog split. Good. Bring that knee forward and wide. Pigeon on the other side. Good. Again, setting the hips so that your pelvis is spinning forward, right hip is spinning forward. Good. Walk yourself onto your elbows. And then for a moment, tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up. Good. Feel that full extension of your spine, that you're not just lifting the knee for no reason, but that you're lifting so that you can really pull your tailbone back more and you can pull your armpits forward more so that you're coming into pigeon with the longest spine that you can have. Good. Then drop the knee down to the floor. Let your toes come to whatever position they like, tucked or untucked. And then let yourself drop into whatever arm position you prefer. Good. You're on your back. You're perfect. Just flex your feet. Nice. Thank you, guys. Building a trust that even in your darkest moments, in the darkest spaces that you can find in yourself, that there's a light that still exists. And that there's no special magic spell that's going to turn the dark that you don't like into a version that you do like. That you can practice just being in that state of loving what you have, loving what you are. It's what the Guru teaches. Not how to become enlightened, it's how to realize yourself, to already be as light as you need to be, and whatever you thought was your darkness that was limiting you is just an illusion. Ignorance of what you really are, ignorance of what it really is. Deep inside, do you really believe at your core, at your root, do you really believe that you have the ability to transform your life, that you have the ability to let go of what used to be? And if you're not sure, just keep exploring what the heart says is true for you. Live that as best you can. One more breath where you are. And then walk yourself back up onto your hands, please. So if you are on your back, you're going to come into that straight-legged twist again. So the left knee is going to come across the body with a straight leg. If you are in pigeon, you're gonna lift that back knee up. You're gonna shoot that left leg out wide to the right, so it comes out straight behind your wrist. You got it. And then you're moving it all the way out until your left hip finds the floor. Yeah, all the way out. Yep. And your right toes stay tucked under. That's it. Ribs turn forward. Yeah. Try to split the legs so that they are at least in line with your hips. So if you can bring the legs far enough apart that that left leg is in line with your left hip, so it's straight out to the side, not at an angle down. That's good, Jen. Yeah, nice, Lana. You can come down to your forearms if you want. You're in a good position. Good. Nice. Sarah's keeping herself lifted on her hands. She can come down to her forearms too if she wants. She likes it up there. Yeah. Celebrating the gurus in your life, the ones that remind you that you have to love yourself. The ones that point out the darkness that needs to be reconsidered, the ones that help you destroy your attachments. In a pleasant way or an unpleasant way, they help you destroy your attachments. All gurus. Good. One more breath. Really stretch the legs wide away from each other. Nice. And then walk your hands back in, please. Good. Come back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look forward between the hands, please. Step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Good. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Turn the toes out for a moment. Bend the knees, come into squat. Stretch your arms up alongside your ears. Interlace your fingers. Point your fingers to the sky. Good. Stretch through the arms. Press down through your seat. Good. And then internally, just for a couple of breaths, Sat Nam. On the Sat, you're pulling the navel in and up, squeezing, lifting the pelvic floor. Nam, you're releasing it. Good. Just for a little bit. Sat Nam, squeeze in and release. The root is the place where you make everything real. The place where you wrap it into the physicality of your life. So whatever exists as truth in you, you've got to bring it into that root place. Sat Nam, truth is my name. It's not limited to me, but truth moves through me. I'm not confused about who and what I am, no matter what name I've been given, no matter what circumstances have come into my life. Good. Deep breath in, pause and hold. Nice, release the hands, please. Come on down to sit. Good job. Good, stretch your legs out in front of you as wide as your mat. So separate your feet as wide as your mat. Flex your feet. You got it. And then walk yourself forward so that you can reach for your ankles or the edges of the feet, whatever you can comfortably reach. Good. Toes curl back. Yeah. And then start to cat-cow your spine, holding onto your feet or your ankles, inhaling and exhaling. Good. We'll say if ankle stability is something you're working with, then every time you are in a position where you are holding your feet and pulling back, make sure that you are actively pushing forward through your feet as well, so that you're not just pulling the ankles in one direction, but you're actually putting muscular energy into them. So if you're holding your feet, you can push back out through the balls of your feet. Yeah, and that's going to relieve some of that pressure of the ankles being flexed too much. And it's going to strengthen that connection between the ankles and the shins. Good. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. Come to stillness, please. Good. Release the feet. Bring your feet a little closer together so that they're in line with your hips, so legs together. Bring your right knee in towards your chest. Right knee in. Good, cross it over your left thigh. Yep, and then use your left arm, wrap it around that right thigh, take your right hand back behind you. Good, squeeze that thigh in as you twist to your right. Nice, belly moves up to meet your thigh, so you're not leaning back into your hand, but you're pulling up. And then your throat goes back. Good. Nice, Robin. Nice, both of my Susans. Good, you guys. Release the twist, come back to center, please. Hug that right knee all the way back up in towards your chest. So uncross the foot, but squeeze it in. And then reach with your left hand for the baby toe edge of your right foot. So you're crossing the body. And then extend that right leg straight forward from the hip. Turn your belly to the right. Good. Again, remember that you can push that foot, ball of the foot, back into your hand so that you're not just pulling the ankle in one direction, but you're pushing back out. Belly turns to the right, right arm comes back behind you, balance. Good. If you need to have that hand on the floor, you can, but just make sure you're rolling towards the front edge of your pelvis, so you're trying to push through that foot. Nice, Andra. Good, you guys. Nice, Linda. Good. Fred is always in shadow, but we sort of see you. Beautiful, you guys. Come back to center, please. Pull that right knee back in towards your chest. Good, and then send that leg down to the floor and go to the other side. Draw the left knee in. Good, cross it over the right thigh. Make sure you can feel both sit bones twisting to the left. Wrap the right arm around the left knee. Left hand comes behind you. Good, squeeze that knee in, but drop your left butt cheek down to the floor. Good, so Pam, drop that left sit bone down more. That's it. Yep, there you go. So as you squeeze it in and you turn your belly, you're lifting long through that cross from the left hip up through your right side body. But we're making space. Good. Nice, you guys. Bring yourself back to center, please. Unwind that left foot, draw the knee in towards your chest, then right hand reaches for baby toe edge of the left foot. Extend that leg forward straight from the hip, so don't let it fall towards the inside or the midline. Pull it wide. And then twist the belly to the left. Good. Left arm comes out back behind you. Lean forward towards the front edge of your pelvis, so push out through that left leg. Good. Don't let it fall in. Long throat. Good. Ronnie S., just try and move your foot a little wider to your left. There you go. And then try to turn your big toe more up towards the ceiling. So press the baby, there you go. Exactly. Nice, you guys. Bring it back to center, please. Hug that knee back in towards your chest. Good. And then release. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Point the toes. Take your hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels. Good, if you can. If you need to turn the hands out a little bit, you can, but try to have them mostly facing forward. Good. Bend your elbows just a little bit, pressing into the hands. Lift your chest a little higher. Squeeze those upper arms. So again, you're lifting the back of your chest from, you're lifting your chest from the back of your heart. And then point the toes, lift from your inner thighs, take your hips up off the floor, reverse plank. Chest up, chest up, chest up. Try and keep your big toes together, keep your shins together. Good, pull up, pull up. If the shoulders or any other part of you really dislikes this position, bend your knees, plant your feet, and come into the same thing, reverse tabletop with the knees bent. Good. One more breath if you're in plank. And then release the hips down to the floor. Nice job, you guys. So bend the knees. Good. And we're coming into fire log. So left shin is going to be on the bottom, right shin stacks on top. So right ankle on top of left knee is the traditional. If the knees don't like that position, even with pops, you can move the foot a little wider so your heel is in your left knee crease. Or if that doesn't work, right shin crosses in front of left with the feet flexed. Good. So find your position. Good. And either hands can rest behind you, just sitting nice and tall in your hip opener, or you can take a forward fold, walk yourself straight ahead. Good. Flex your feet, please. Whatever position that you're in, you got to keep your feet awake. Good. Lauren, I don't mind that you're doing Gomukhasana instead, if that's working for you, as long as you're not confused about which pose I actually said. Okay. Good, you guys. Guru is the one that helps destroy your attachments to the world the way that you thought it was. Whether that's through a personality that is difficult, or that tapas energy that says that there's friction, there's irritation, it's challenging to let go. Or it's that pure loving relationship where you're like, I'll do anything for you because I trust you so deeply. Both are the energy of the guru. But it only works with another person if you have some sense inside of you that this exists, that you can do it. And if you believe that much, then you can believe that there is a guru in you that already knows how to understand the world that way, that already knows how to love the life that you have, to love what you are. There is no darkness that you need to be rescued from. There's just things we haven't yet learned how to love. Walk yourself back up. Good. Unwind the legs. So taking the right knee wide first before you release. Stretch the legs out in front of you, both legs out. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Bow forward, Paschimottanasana, reaching for the feet. Nice. Can you get a little wider with your chest, please? Yes, you can. Good job. And release, come on back up. Okay, switch to the other side. So your right shin is going to be on the bottom this time. Left leg stacks on top. So again, ankle on top of knee, heel into knee crease, or left shin in front of right with the feet flexed. Feet are flexed no matter what. Find your position. You can always use props underneath the knee that is on top. Good. Either hands behind you and you stay upright, or go ahead and find your forward fold. Trying to find yourself rolling forward so that you're actually tilting the pelvis forward to create your forward fold instead of just rounding into your back. Try and send your pelvis forward. Good. Whatever your greatest challenge is that you can identify, and you also identify that you have all the tools necessary to meet it. You have everything necessary to turn your greatest darkness into light. It's nice if we have that external inspiration to guide us, or it's nice if we have that validation outside of us. But you are the one that turns that into something real. You are the one that turns that into something that moves in your life. The power has always been yours, always will be yours. Can you learn to trust yourself? But slowly walk yourself back up. Unwind the legs, pulling that left knee wide as you come out. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Good. One more forward fold. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Bow forward. Nice. Good, Debbie. Just read that left thigh a little stronger. There you go. Yep. And then release, come on back up. Good. Scoot yourself forward, find your way onto your backs. If you have a block, bring a block with you. Come into a supported bridge pose. So just lift the hips, place the block underneath your hips, underneath your sacrum. Good. Find a feeling of rest. So Andra, bring your knees a little closer together. I don't know if you heard me, Andra, bring your knees a little closer together. Maybe the picture's frozen. I don't know. You again breathe in the third eye. The place where there's inspiration, the place where we can feel truth as something that is abstract and complete and ideal. And can you send your breath into your heart? There's a connection to that truth in a personal way. That it's embedded in your personality already. You were born with it. Or maybe there is the willingness to trust and there's a willingness to love. And then can you breathe that deeper down into your pelvis, all the way to the root? There's a knowing that to make that truth real in the world means that it's going to lose its idealism. It's going to lose its abstractness. But it doesn't lose its trueness. It's at the root that you have the ability to break every attachment you have to the way the world has to be, should be, might be. Who you have to be, should be, might be. And break your identity over and over and over again until it really reflects the truth of your heart. When we're comfortable in that, then darkness starts to disappear, because it's not any different than our own inner light. And I know it doesn't feel like that. I live in the world too. It doesn't feel like that. That's why there's the necessity for trust. One more breath where you are. And then lift the hips up off of your block. Let the spine come down to rest. Good. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Start to windshield wiper your legs right and left, knees bent. Celebrate the outer guru, because it's always so nice if somebody else can show us the way. We celebrate the inner guru, because the inner guru that gives you the ability to actually make anything that you experience outside, from outside, real. Next time your knees drop to the right, let them stay there. Good. You want to place that right ankle on top of your left thigh. You're welcome to do that. So other way, Debbie, if you're looking for the thigh stretch. Otherwise, if you're happy where you are, stay. Good. Nice, you guys. Come back to center, please. Feet as wide as your mat. Drop the knees to the left this time. Good. Placing the left ankle on top of the right thigh if you'd like. What makes a guru is how much you see in them and how much you have trust in what they can inspire in you. The trust is not really in them. The trust is really how much do you trust yourself to follow that path. Come back to center, please. Good. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Cross your right thigh on top of your left. Separate the feet, reach for your ankles or your shins. Gomukhasana on your back. Good. Flex your feet. So Ronnie G, see if you can cross that right thigh all the way on top of your left so your knees are in line. There you go. Interesting here to notice if you are pulling big toe mound and baby toe mound of your ankle back equally. Release and switch the legs. Take the other leg on top. Separate the feet, reach for the ankles or the shins. See if you can find the straight lines on your ankles. So for most of us, that means that the baby toe edge of our foot has to pull back a little more. And equally, maybe it means that you actually push forward through the big toe mound of your foot. Again, adding a little bit of muscular energy to the lower leg. Good. Low back stays on the floor, knees in towards your chest. And then slowly release. Hug the knees back in towards the chest. Good. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right. Come back up to center, scoot your hips over to the right, drop your knees to the left. And then come back to center, squeeze the knees, bring your forehead up to meet your knees, hug. This is a pose, it's not just a stretch. This is literally hollow yourself from the inside to the outside, Apanasana. And I let go of whatever no longer needs to be attached. And then release, stretching the legs out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms face up. And we let go of all attachment, even to the body, even to the mind. We have Shavasana, a state of complete rest, where everything comes to you, but there's no effort to keep it, no effort to influence it. Things just are what they are. Rest in that. Gently bring the awareness back to your breath. Let your body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bringing hands to heart center, or whatever mudra is serving you these days. And feeling the breath again move through those points of the third eye, down to the heart, down to the base. That the belief in the guru, whether it is inner or outer, is that there is a connection to a bigger truth that we are part of a line of, or that we have a connection to. So it's not just an abstract concept, but the guru gives you an anchor to say this is real. That kind of love is real. That kind of trust is real. The goal of my spiritual path is someone did it, which means that I can do it. And that's what we're meant to celebrate, is that that inner guru that lives in you is the energy that says, I can do this. I was born with the same abilities that those great ones had. I was born from the same energy of truth. Sat Nam is my name. And if I believe that, then that is what's going to guide my life. And things like darkness and light start to disappear, and I just get to be what I am. And that's what we call enlightenment, when you just get to be what you are, with none of that judgment, none of that thinking that you have to fix it, change it. You have to trust that it's in you, and you have to believe, you have to love what it is that you are, and make that love and make that trust something that is real in your life. Live from it. And that's where we struggle, is making it real. Find it in you, whatever that sense of guru is, that I have the ability to turn anything that is dark towards light. And then make it real. And close the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. And celebrate all of the gurus and the ones that have put this path in front of us and said, if you keep walking it, you'll find something. You'll find yourself. So keep walking. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week until I see you again. I'm gonna unmute you. In theory, I'll unmute you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So don't forget meditation. If you want to hang out for that in 10 minutes or so, then you don't have to leave. You can stay. If you want to go out and come back in, you're welcome to. But if otherwise, we've got places to be, things to do. I'll see you later.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you, Veronica.
Happy Guru Purnima.